are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, a strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, it's Walter on iWalter. Welcome back if you're listening to me. It's Sunday night on September 6, 2015. By the time I'm done, it's going to be actually Monday morning. So I'm trying to get this done quickly. There was a couple things I want to have to mention. There was some part of Rush I actually listened to today. I said to my friend Matt, I'm going to make this part of my show because it was really, you need to hear it. So it's not me just saying it. So I'm going to play that probably in a few minutes, just to let you know. Anyway, they just put up like a little bit of a teaser for on September 19th when Doctor Who comes back on BBC One. And the beginning of the trailer, I thought I was watching a horror movie because it looked like, even to me, it looked kind of like disturbing, like zombie horror type of effect. And this is on like the new season of Doctor Who. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get themselves in trouble. Years ago, back in the 70s, they got themselves in trouble a lot with the BBC because the episodes were really frightening. Again, I do want to watch or let you listen to the Rush Limbaugh thing. It's about the unemployment thing. You know, you hear me talk about it, but maybe you need to hear it from someone else, and I think that might help. A friend just had posted on his Facebook page, my friend Matt Harthman, and I just put it on my Facebook page, so I basically shared it. But it basically said this suicide bomber, the one from with those people that were, looks like Massachusetts, you know, that marathon, that's what I wanted to look for, the word. Marathon suicide bomber. The guy mysteriously slipped on a banana peel. I swear to God, it says this. Sorry about, I don't mean to swear, but yeah, he slipped on a banana peel and it was blood all over the place. So I call that karma. I mean, obviously the guy's an idiot. And these people are wannabe terrorists to begin with. So, hey, what better way than basically bash yourself in by being stupid? It says officers reported found the terror suspect face down in a pool of his own blood in his cell. A banana peel was found on the floor nearby. It could have been just a setup. I don't really care either way. I hope the guy fucking dies. Fort Devens, Massachusetts. Empire News is the link, by the way, .net. So if you want to read more, check it out. You know what? Deserves a guy fucking right. He killed all those freaking people, and now he hurt himself. And they said something about on the title page that apparently was pretty serious how he hurt himself. It says he may never walk or talk again, posted on August 31st, 2015. Well, you know what? I'd say it'd be even better for me to hear that. They keep on pushing more and more. I mean, when something is this big of a rumor, and it's on Jaws about making a remake, seems like when they talk about it this much, it's going to probably happen. BestHorrorMovies.com says a Jaws remake may be on the way. It's been 40 years since Jaws was caught the critics, viewer and critics by storm, and now they're talking about a remake. Once again, it's coming up again. It says the original picture earned $470 million theatrically. The film to surpass $100 million in rentals. So that's back when you went to see a movie, by the way, and it was no more than $3.25. Now it's $14 to see a movie, and it got that kind of money. So what's that telling you? Yeah, there's definitely going to be a remake, I guess. It's just a matter of how they were going to do it. Another one I think I did get from my friend Matt Harthman. This was really funny. It's this Asian girl, and she's got these really big breasts, like humongous, and she's like playing with them, like squeezing them and everything. And the person who posted it says, "Lots of laughs, just gotta watch till the end." So the girl's poking her big boobs so much, this Asian girl, that she explodes. And it is really funny. It's not disgusting, trust me. Yeah, there was something, I don't know the whole story on this. I want to get to the Rush. I think it was on Uproxx Wed Culture. So my friend Todd Thomas. 6-year-old boy had his penis chopped off by his pet horse. So that's on Uproxx, by the way. The story reaches new heights on absurdity, especially since the boy in question appears to harbor no feelings against the horse in question. So I don't know if the kid put his penis in the horse's mouth and it bit it off, or what happened. Because I didn't read the whole thing. If you had your penis casually removed by your pet, would you keep up the ruse of feeding and housing the creature? Humans will never know the bittersweet joy of unconditional love like the poor little fella, who basically is a little kid, obviously. Let us assume the boy is far more evolved than the rest of us in the internet types. The mirror presents the nightmarish details of everyday joyful bike ride gone array. So it goes from, bike ride. And in an extraordinary attack, a boy gleefully cycled past his pet mare, and the horse suddenly attacked him, knocked him to the ground, and chewed off his member. This is only beginning of a bizarre story. Again, I'm just kind of like highlighting it. But all said and done, it says, luckily, the boy's father was able to locate the severed penis, basically, unit, they put it, and put it on ice. Well, they wouldn't be able to find mine because it would be so small. You'd need a microscope. Then he was rushed. He rushed his son to the hospital for a speedy surgery job. The boy's surgeon basically says he never experienced something like this, and especially not that it wasn't provoked. Like the animal wasn't provoked to do this. The horse just did it randomly, apparently. Surgery reunited the little boy with his penis, but doctors say it may take years to know if everything works as it should. This poor child, and yet he still adores his mare. So yeah, that's a little freaky, but I don't know. I don't know the whole situation. I know if it was me, there would be something that provoked that situation with the horse. It wouldn't be just something that just randomly happened with me, because trust me, that's generally the way it works out. Hey, by the way, I found this, I thought it was really funny. I take my stuff, yes, from different people on Facebook, but this actually goes into, I might just have to go right to the Rush thing, because I might be talking a little longer than I want to. But it was from FHM's video, and it was basically uploaded, but I don't know where I got it from originally. And it says, here you have a snoring duck. Enjoy. And the duck is literally sleeping on this guy, but the duck is also snoring really loud. It's a duckling, actually. So, yeah, it actually did catch my attention. Yeah, you know what? Again, I don't want to take away from this because it's pretty lengthy. I had other things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Italian Splatterfest me and my friend went to last night. So that being said, let me pull up. I did already linked it up basically for Rush Limbaugh. I just got to get it started now. I just got to find it now. Yeah, I can't find my, so I'm apologize. I can't pause it unless I can find it. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, I'm going to stop. Again, this was on Friday's show of Open Line Friday on Rush Limbaugh. It's going to be pretty long. I'll let you know now. So it might be, I got to look at the length of the time so I can let you know, give you a heads up. And it's not like doing anything in my favor tonight. It's like I hit, say, okay, hit information, and it's not working. So you know what? You're going to have to suffer with it because I can't figure it out. Oh, here we go. Okay, the time on this thing, duration's 4 minutes and 24 seconds. So yeah, it's a bit long. Not that I haven't done anything like this long before. So just giving you a heads up, but please listen to it. It is from Rush Limbaugh. He has mentioned about the unemployment rate. You've heard me talk about it. You know my outlook on this. So I'm going to play this now. So here we go, and I am putting Rush Limbaugh on.
The unemployment numbers are out. Time magazine. This is just. This whole subject has been a source of great irritation for me. We now have, folks, 94 million Americans not working. The labor force participation rate is at an all-time low. Now, the labor force participation rate is a percentage of able-bodied people actually working, and it's in the, what is it, the high 50s or the low 60s? No, it's 62.6%. Which is really low. It's an historic low. What it translates to real numbers is 94 million Americans not working. And yet they report the unemployment number 5.1%. It's an insult. It's an insult to everybody's intelligence. And here we have Time magazine. They go through all of these numbers very excitedly. U.S. economy added 173,000 jobs in August, while the unemployment rate fell to 5.1%. The total number of new non-farm payroll jobs was about 50,000 lower than economists had expected, but that was tempered by the fact that estimates for job gains in June and July were revised up. Yay! And then comes, yet we are seeing no recovery in wage growth or labor force participation. Well, duh. Of course you're not seeing any recovery in wage growth or labor force participation because we are not creating any net new jobs. Because we do not have an economy, much less wages, growing. But the government says the unemployment rate's 5.1%. We had an unemployment rate with George W. Bush toward the end of his regime at 4.7%. That's statistically full. Anyway, 94 million Americans not working. It's all you need to know. Everything else is irrelevant. 94 million Americans not working. The adult population of the country is 220 million. For Christ, crying out loud, we're almost at half of the adult population not working. Sorry, folks, you're not going to have economic growth. You're not going to have wage growth. And you're not going to have private sector growth because the government's taking it all. Bit by bit, little by little. Bite by bite. Time magazine, yet we're seeing no recovery in wage growth or labor force participation. Now, if you're a neophyte and an idiot, and you see the unemployment rate going down from nearly 8% to 5.1%, you would believe that we're creating jobs left and right. And if the labor force participation rate, meaning if a number of people not working goes up, in fact, let me put it to you this way, see how you would explain it. The unemployment rate's going up or going down, which is supposedly an improvement. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, unemployment was at 8%. Today, it's at 5.1%. That's a huge improvement. So why are more people not working today than there were 3 years ago? How do you explain that? How in the world can anybody without economic expertise, and I doubt, how many people really know what the labor force participation rate is anyway. But here we have, supposedly Time magazine, these are the wizards of smart. These are the people who've been to journalism school, and they've been to college. They've been to universities. Many of them have graduate degrees. They're supposed to know this stuff, and they're sitting there stymied. They believe the unemployment rate, 5.1%, down from 8%. They're perplexed. And how come the labor force participation rate isn't any better? How come more people aren't working? Because the unemployment rate says that's exactly what happened. No, it doesn't. For about the umpteenth time, the unemployment rate that is reported, which is categorized as U3, does not count people who have been out of work for 4 years or more and have given up looking for a job. Yet they're still out of work, and they're still not working. They've given up. Their unemployment benefits may have expired, still out of work, but they're not counted as being out of work.
All right, so that was the Rush Limbaugh thing. I don't know where that echo came from. Honestly, I just wanted people to hear it. Yeah, he made it very apparent. There is so many people. There's like 63%, did he say? 63% of our nation are people who just gave up on looking for jobs, who just really don't want to work. That's a lot. That 63%, that means there's less than 40% of the nation actually working, if I'm doing my math right, which I normally don't do, so I wouldn't be surprised if I screwed up this time. Yeah, I just want to get this done, like I said, before midnight, because I actually had rented a movie I want to watch on Amazon. But that being said about movies, me and my friend Matt, we went to the Italian Splatterfest. We got there a little late, not that we missed anything. And it wasn't that big of a deal because I got this VIP ticket to get something to eat, and my friend Matt was allowed to go up with me when we got there. And honestly, I didn't eat that much. It was $25 in addition to the $25 you pay, or $25 you pay for these 5 movies we went and seen. I believe it's 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And I'll name them off. They were all right. They were a little bit more on the borderline of, I would call them exploitation films. Now, exploitation usually people refer to as sexual films, which those are actually, if I remember, Matt will correct me, but they're usually called sexploitation films. Because exploitation films are basically films that are done just not only on low budget, they're just done like a 9-to-5 job. They're basically done back to back. They don't even stop making films. They just make one horrible movie after another, and that was big in the 70s. It was like, it was cheaper not to break the equipment down, just shoot the next film, and don't even care how it turns out. So you would have all these films. You got a plethora of films back in the 70s, and they were all called these exploitation films. They probably started obviously earlier in the 70s, but they were really big in the 70s. That's why I'm saying that. So anyway, the Splatterfest consisted again of 5 films. The first one was called Black Sunday, which it actually was under a different name because they're called they're considered Italian films because they're done by Italian producers, probably even Italian actors, and maybe even shot in Italy. Like the one I actually looked up, the last one, which I'll read now, is The House by the Cemetery, and it's Fuccelli. I think it's Fuccelli. And I really liked that film. My friend did not like it as much, so I looked it up, and it's a trilogy of films. There was 3 films. They're all connected somehow. So I looked it up. You can buy all 3 of them on Blu-ray from an Australian import. It was like $50. Or I could buy them from England on DVD, which is not that great of quality, but it's still, I have a region-free DVD player, and get all 3 films for like $30. So even though there's not that much of a difference, I'll pay $30 for those films because I really did like this one called The House by the Cemetery. I would have preferred to have the Blu-ray cut, but I don't feel like paying an extra $20. And it comes with some extra stuff. Now, some people wrote who bought this box set from England. They said these were the worst films there was only 3 reviews. 2 of them said that the movies were horrendous, that they were the worst things they've ever seen. It's like, well, you got to appreciate the film for what it is. It's an Italian film. Not that I do to a full extent of that word. I don't think I do either. But this one in particular really creeped me out. It actually, Matt doesn't realize it, but it scared the shit out of me. So it's like, why would you buy something that scares the shit out of you? Well, I'm just kind of curious about these other films. So that being said, it was a box set. It comes with some extras. It's only DVD, but I really don't care. These are old films. That one was from 1981. So I told you the first one that we watched last time. Now I'm going to read them in order. It was Black Sunday. That was 1960. That was an 87-minute movie. The second movie we saw was Demons 2, which me and Matt would be on the same page with that. That was 86 minutes, by the way. That was done, ironically, in 1986. First one was 1960. But Demons 2 was not as good as Demons, the regular movie, the first one, the original. And I said that to him before it even started. I said, listen, man, I really liked the first one much better. I never really liked the second one that much. It was just a pretty poor sequel. It had some of the same concept to it, but it was not as well executed as the first one was. The next one I didn't really like, but Matt liked it. There were some parts I liked. You see some nudity in these films with these women. And Bay of Blood was like the best. This blonde hair girl that was in this movie had really nice body. And that, again, I just mentioned the name. It's called Bay of Blood, and that was done in 1971. That was 84 minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Let me correct myself. Bay of Blood, no. Actually, they did have a woman that was fully nude in the film, some redheaded woman. And I'm like, I got this big fetish for redheaded women. But she wasn't that attractive. Like, she wasn't bad, but she wasn't that attractive. And she had a nasty hiney. The one I'm thinking of was Hell of the Living Dead, a.k.a. Night of the Zombies. Now, that was 1980. That was the longest movie, unfortunately, which was funny because I was drinking all this iced tea. I snuck some iced tea into the place, a big half-gallon jug, and I drank most of it. And usually between the films, you're supposed to get like a 15-minute to a half-hour break so you could go to the bathroom or something. Well, they said right before this movie started of Night of the Zombies, they said, oh, yeah, you're going to get 15 minutes to go run to the bathroom, get something to eat, but hurry back. So guess what? Less than a minute later, the movie started. It was like everybody was a little bit pissed off. It's like, wait, you didn't waste any time. You just want to get the, fuck out of here. And they made it obvious. So it started. I was like, okay. And I'm sitting there. I was like, I really got to pee. But this movie can't be that long because most of the movies were pretty short. They're like old movies. It's an hour and 100 minutes. 101 minutes. So what is that? 90 minutes is an hour and a half. So this was almost like 2 hours. And I'm like having the piss the whole time. But again, the only thing that kind of kept me sitting in my seat was this one. The film was really ridiculous. I'll tell you that much. They were all kind of dumb, but this one was really ridiculous. And out of nowhere, they had this, all through the movie, they had these static shots of animals that had like nothing to do with the film. They didn't even match up at all. So, and there was one of these 5 films, there was very obvious continuity problem. I think it was the last one I actually liked, The House by the Cemetery. There was a continuity problem where the guy got bit by a bat, a black bat, or like, I guess it's technically considered a vampire bat. A vampire bat, basically, they do, they're bloodsuckers. There's no other way to put it. That's basically why they're called vampire bats. And I think they do exist, so I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to look that one up. So this guy gets bit by a bat in his basement. Like they get this house, they inherit his house, or they buy this house, his old house. It's basically the pre-occupants are still living here. At least one of them are. I'll say that much. So the basement's like sealed off. It's like locked. They open it up. This guy goes down the basement. He gets attacked by a vampire bat. Not one that changes into a non-dead human being. A real vampire bat. It was a really corny looking one too. It looked fake, obviously. But the thing is like biting in his hand and it's like drawing blood. And the guy like has to smash the freaking thing off his hand. So he finally does, goes to the hospital. He's like, well, the problem is with bats. The thing is, you always got to worry about, which they didn't mention and care about, kind of making that incorporating that in a movie. Well, if you get bit by a bat, you got to worry about rabies because bats are notorious for carrying rabies 99% of the time, I think. I don't know. I'm just saying. So this guy gets bit by a bat, and in the next scene, his hand looks perfectly fine. And then in the next scene of this film called The House by the Cemetery, his hand's all bandaged up. So, again, that's called continuity problems. So that didn't really bother me because the film itself just, like, scared the shit out. I mean, literally, I was close to finding a diaper because I almost did shit myself. It did scare me, so that's good, right? So anyway, I want to go through these because I just babbled on for, like, quite a few minutes. was Black Sunday, that was 1960. Demons 2, 1986. A Bay of Blood, 1971. Hell of the Living Dead, that was 1980. And then my favorite, I would have to say, it isn't kind of embarrassing for me to say that, but The House by the Cemetery, which was 1981. So we spent from 7 p.m. until about close to 4 o'clock a.m. on Sunday today. I can still say today because it's only 11:03, and I'm going to make sure I end this before midnight. Trust me, it won't be up until Monday morning, but it'll at least be done Sunday night. But it was fun. It was a little, but I was a little getting uncomfortable sitting in the seats. The seats weren't that bad, but they still get uncomfortable. Your hiney gets like sore after a while. And my friend had the same problem. We both bought like some type of seat protectors, not protectors, seat cushions, whatever, to help. I bought a thing to help me with my back because I've been having back problems from work. But one guy who went to this film actually not only fell asleep, my friend did too. I mean, it's going to happen. It's 9.5 hours of not that great of films. They're good, but I did honestly, I really did I'm not even kidding. When Matt listens to this, I'm not kidding. I did like The House by the Cemetery. I really did like that. Anyway, some guy fell asleep, and he was snoring so freaking loud that Matt was even laughing. My problem was, though, I was laughing for another reason, and Matt won't understand why, so I have to explain this one. Maybe some people do if they listened to my show the other day. I had posted, I forget where I got it. It was some woman, she's on a bed in, ultra tight spandex. I love to talk about spandex, but she has spandex on. And she's like face down on the bed, and it sounded like it was for real. I mean, it wasn't made up, but she farted real loud. Like she was basically one of these fetishes where guys enjoy listening to women either pissing or whatever. This one was like a woman, guys who enjoy listening to sexy women fart. And it's like, well, you know what? That is one thing I always thought would be kind of cool, but it's really disgusting. Normally, but what they did is they edit this fetish thing with this girl in tight spandex ripping a loud fart through her spandex pants you could see her ass. She had a nice ass, though. To that scene in The Exorcist where the guy goes into the one room, and I think it's The Exorcist. It was either The Exorcist or Amityville Horror. Now I'm wondering, I think it actually might have been Amityville Horror, though, the original one. Where the priest goes in the room to basically bless the house, and he gets covered by flies, and then the house tells him to get out. Well, they cut out the part with the get out. They just kept it to the sequence of the flies gathering on this priest and like swarming all over his face. And it was like they edited it so well that it goes from this woman leaving a loud fucking fart to the priest like trying to catch his breath because the flies are like getting in his mouth, and the air is being sucked out of the room that he's in too, that he's trying to bless. And I'm like, I had to watch that like 15 times. I'm not even kidding when I put it on my Facebook page. And every time I started fucking laughing. It was like, this is so stupid, but I'm laughing like I'm a little kid again. Well, I'm always like a little kid. So I'm in the movie theater. My friend Matt's laughing at this guy who's snoring real loud, which is making me laugh. He's also laughing at just some of the stupid stuff in these films. These stupid shots of film work. But I'm like laughing in the back of my mind. I'm laughing about this woman farting, and it cut into the scene. Now I'm going to get it correct, of Amityville Horror, and the guy like trying to catch his breath. He's going. And the flies go all over him, because like flies on shit. I guess what they were trying to insinuate on the video, the way they cut it. I'm like laughing my ass off on that, though. It had nothing to do with the films. So yeah, I'm pretty pathetic about that. Hey, somebody put up, it was on bloodydisgusting.com. If you're interested, it is really cool. It's like, but you really got to know what you're fucking doing. It says, here's how that you can make your own Freddy Krueger glove. I mean, it's out of real metal. A leather glove, and it goes through the whole freaking thing step by step, how to cut the metal and make, the metal platelets for your fingers. I'm looking at it now. how to actually physically cut out of like sheet metal, real daggers, real knives, which I think it would be a little dangerous to do that because he's like cutting them. And I don't care if the metal has been sharpened or not, it's still really dangerous. But it looks very impressive. It really looks impressive. I mean, this is a custom made with a real leather glove, a real Freddy Krueger glove. But you know what? The problem is somebody's going to really, seriously, they're going to hurt themselves. You can get decent ones that don't look that impressive. I'm sure you could buy one on eBay. But would you really want to do that? Because, I mean, I bought a machete for Jason Voorhees that I had one of the actors, the one I liked the best, sign it with his, autograph. But my mother was like freaking out. She was saying, you know what? I'm really concerned. That thing is dangerous. That is a weapon. So with making a Freddy Krueger glove with blades on there, you're not going to tell me that's not dangerous also? I don't care if the sheet metal has been sharpened or not. It's still cut into blades. So that's a little bit what I'm a little concerned about. But anyways, this person says Jason has a machete, Leatherface has a chainsaw, Michael has a butcher's knife. All of these items can be picked up at any local hardware or kitchen store. But Freddy, oh man, Freddy puts work into his weapon of choice. Hell, A Nightmare on Elm Street opens up by... I gotta stop this real quick, folks, so I apologize. I'm going to stop right now. All right, hey, this is iWalter. I apologize about this. Somebody was calling me, and normally I turn off my phone, and I actually turn off the volume because my phone calls, I don't know if you know this, if you have Apple, Apple products, and they're all interlinked, like I got an Apple computer, I got an Apple phone, I got everything Apple. So the problem is when the phone calls are being dialed in on your phone, you can actually receive and talk to the person on your computer. Because I also have the Apple monitor as well. So I apologize about that. So that threw me off. I don't want to feel like going back and trying to re-edit that. So you're going to hear my phone call go through. So, hey, I can get phone calls while I'm live, and I can actually pick them up, and they will get broadcasted on the show. But it says, but Freddy, oh man, Freddy puts in work into his weapon of choice. Hell, A Nightmare on Elm Street opens with Freddy Krueger actually constructing his finger knives, the primary weapon he used throughout the franchise. In my opinion, that loving touch he gave to his glove really allows for a bit of him to go to each kill, a personal stamp, if you will. Well, again, I think it's just very dangerous. If you've ever found yourself wanting to create your own replica Freddy glove, then I've just the thing for you. And it says below, I show you step-by-step on how to create your own prop, courtesy of the RPF. My recommendation, keep the knives dull. You never know what could happen. And see, I just said that. And even if the knives aren't dull, they're still going to be very dangerous. So just to give you a heads up, if you do it, good luck. And by the way, they're going to put this on the other side of the state of Pennsylvania for us, but now they're going to put it out in Las Vegas. And this was on BloodyDisgusting.com. What am I talking about? Well, it's Las Vegas Fright Dome bringing the Friday the 13th to 4D. So that same thing they're going to put out and actually there's a video for it too. It's going to be also in Vegas, but if you live on the East Coast, you can actually, they're doing the same exact thing as far as I'm concerned out in the other side of my state. Unfortunately, it's a 4-hour drive. That's the thing, 3-hour drive. So I might even, if I do it, I'm going to have to see if I can fit it in. The Las Vegas Haunted Attraction Fright Dome has announced that this year, in partnership with SimX iWorks Entertainment and Warner Brothers Consumer Products, to create Friday the 13th 4D, a deadly 4D experience, which claims to make them the very first haunted attraction in the world to feature a 4D show with the iconic brand. Well, no, they're actually going to be doing this out in the other side of Pennsylvania, too, which is cool for me. Because I really would mind going to it. But there's other things. There was actually that horror convention. I did post about it with Patty Mullen. And actually, Lee Major is going to be there. Now, I said to a friend, I left a message. He won't listen, though. No offense. But I told him, how much would you bet, how much would you pay me if I would go, to get a meet and greet with Lee Majors, the $6 million man, and ask for his autograph while, now get this, how much would you pay me to do this? Because I will do it if somebody pays me to do it. How much would you pay me to wear? I have that Farrah Fawcett from back in the day, this Farrah Fawcett T-shirt with her in a red one-piece bathing suit. It was the one that made her like who she was, Farrah Fawcett. So if anybody's willing to pay me to wear that, because the man will probably knock me on my face on the ground. Because if you don't know about Lee Majors, apparently he was very abusive to Farrah Fawcett when he was married to her. So it would be one of those like Howard Stern pranks that you would like. I would have the balls to fucking wear that shirt because the man's going to flip out if I wear that shirt in front of him. And then I have the nerve, can I get a picture with you? And I'm wearing a shirt of his ex-wife who basically divorced him, apparently, I think, just because the man was so fucking abusive to her. So if anybody's willing to pay me to do that, I probably will just do that. And just let me know and make sure it's something that I could cash in on, because I'll probably need it for my hospital bill after it happens. So I'm just letting you know. I will do it if somebody is willing to pay me to do that, because the man will be very pissed off. So anyway, I didn't do much yesterday because of obviously, me at that horror fest. I'm actually not that behind. That's why I wanted to fit the show in today, because technically if I get it finished today, I will have no real break in my shows. So that's the reason I was trying to do this. No other reason. And I don't really have that much more to read. It's going to be a fast month for me this month. Halloween, you know what? Out of all the holidays, I think Halloween is like the holiday of all holidays. That's, for an adult, it's just as entertaining, if not more, than it is than anything else is. Like Christmas is okay anymore. It's not like when you're a kid. Other holidays, I really don't get that excited about. Most of them, people don't want to admit this anymore, are basically religious holidays. The religious part has been taken out and just became commercialized. But I don't care how you look at it; it's still a religious holiday. So that being said, Halloween is my favorite. May let it go with this. This was pretty cool because one of my favorite shows was with Victoria Justice. She posted the other day. She went and caught up of all her co-actors that worked with her on that show called Victorious. And yeah, it's all the guys from the show that she acted on the show with, and it was really cool because I really miss that show. I really do. Out of all the shows I've seen, she had it on her Instagram, and then she posted on her Facebook. She basically said it was great seeing her friends that night that she went to see them, and it was a lot of fun. It was like, yeah, well, your show was a lot of fun, too, to watch. So it was like, why did you stop it? I mean, you're not really doing anything spectacular. She did a couple movies, but none of the movies really panned out for her. And she's really entertaining. I really miss her show. And it was named after her. I mean, if I had a show on TV called Walter, the last thing I would want to do is say, you know what, forget it. I don't want to do it anymore. No, I'd be doing it for as long as I can. I would milk that thing until I couldn't do it anymore. And I think she could have milked it a couple more years. So anyway, that is going to be the last of my stories. I'm cutting this short because I'm trying to end, and I'm getting these calls all the time. So that's ruining my show. So everyone, I am signing off for now. Tomorrow is officially the last day of my holiday. I am on vacation tomorrow, or holiday tomorrow, my last day. I got some odds and ends. I actually got this key. It's funny. I got a key. My key broke in my door at home, and I got a new key made. But I get these keys. The best ones you want to get are the ones that got little lights in there. and like on the part you hold onto your key for your house key. Well, that part broke because it's only plastic, but it has a built-in light that just like you hold down on this little button, and that way you can see where your keyhole is. But it broke. I went over to Home Depot today to get another key made. Well, guess what happened? They made the key wrong, so I got to go back. And you know what? They had these really, really cool keys of Star Wars, like Darth Vader, R2-D2. I'm going to get a spare key made. That's just like a regular key, but it's like basically painted with R2 or Darth Vader on top. It's like, I want that key as a spare because that looks fucking awesome. If my other key breaks with the light on there, I'll have a backup, and it's a cool key to carry. So what can I say? I was going to mention this, but I will now. A friend of mine, my friend Matt, met up with some guy we went to college with years ago. Great guy. His name's Dave Pettigrew. He's like a musician. And Matt was saying, yeah, he spent a lot of money. He spent like $12,000 on so far on making this album CD he's working on. And that it sounds like a lot of money, but recording time is very expensive. And Matt did have a good point. He should just buy the equipment and do it at home. It's a lot cheaper, which he's right. Because for that amount of money, he could have actually bought like a good, decent Mac, bought the software, and he would have spent almost like less than half of that. If you buy a new Mac, forget it. You would have still been forking out money. But his name's Dave. Dave's a really cool guy, a friend of Matt's more than mine. But we were both friends in college to this guy, Dave. Now, Dave actually, he's working, and I'm mentioning this for a reason, because he also works at a pharmaceutical company different from mine. The pharmaceutical company he works at, though, believe it or not, is they only hired him as a part-time person. And I'm saying, like, to my friend Matt and my parents tonight, I said, this is what's going to happen where I work. We're a union place. The place where Dave works is non-union. Now, the problem is, though, they're trying to make our company non-union because my place that I work, my plant facility, my pharmacy where we make the drugs, is the last pharmacy in our chain, the last one that is actually unionized. The other ones, they kind of broke them up or weakened them to the point that they're really not unions anymore. They're now doing that with us. And I said to my friend Matt, I said, well, what happened to Dave where he's only working part-time and he's doing the same thing I do? He said he's a janitor at a pharmaceutical company. Well, I am technically a janitor too. They just gave it a different name, and it's not sanitation worker because that's like the joke. Okay, you're a janitor, they call you a sanitation worker. Well, I'm close to being that. They call me a general worker, or actually I think they call me a support associate. Well, technically, I'm a sanitation worker / I am a janitor. There's no other way to put it. So this guy Dave's doing the same thing. I'm making $32 an hour. My dad guessed that maybe he's making at least $20, $21, which is nothing to sneeze at. But I'm telling you, if these jobs at my place, I told my friend Matt, they're going to cut those back by about 80%, I guess. And once they do that, I'm going to take a guess, even better yet, 83%. That's my educated guess. Anybody with less than 10 years at where I work now, they're going to all be gone. Okay, he's calling back again, my other friend. So that being said, though, we're going to have like literally, I'm going to be like the lowest person on the totem pole. Why they're weakening in that much is because when they decide to hire people back, they're going to hire them out as contractors. What do you call it? If not contractors, people that are basically temps. Or they're going to hire them back at a much, much lower wage, and they're going to probably hire them back as part-timers. And why do they hire part-timers? Well, if you listen to what's happening when I play that part of Rush, it's because you won't find a full-time job anymore. And how does Rush fit in this picture? Well, because Rush would actually back this up too. No, because they don't want to pay for the insurance. If you hire somebody as part-time, which is like 35 or less, which I thought it was 32, they won't have to pay your insurance. They won't have to pay for your health benefits of any sort, like any type of pension. They don't need to pay you a pension or anything else. So that being said, That's why a lot of these companies, because they're losing too much money. And if you're a union person, you're paying even more out. It's costing more money. So the union's going to be gone, or at least weakened, by the end of everything when it's said and done at where I work. And we're going to be making as much money as my friend Dave is. And I'll be working, maybe I'll be grandfathered in, they call it. I'll be grandfathered in as a full-time person. But new people coming in off the street, they're going to be hired as only part-time just so they can avoid paying their benefits. Trust me. Or paying them a pension. And mine might disappear soon, too. They might just pay whoever is left. They might just pay them out. Like say, okay, whatever you would have gotten on your retirement date, like even though it's a long way away from me, they might just say, well, guess what? We're going to give you, we're going to put that money that you would have gotten as a retiree into your 401k or into some type of other money market. So we're going to be done with it. And that will happen. Trust me, because I've heard this will happen. I'm not saying it correctly, but that's what's going to happen too. But my friend Matt said something that's really interesting, and it is absolutely true. What they're going to do is when enough people are cut back to part-time, they don't have enough full-time workers at these companies, and they're not selling enough people on these Obamacare plans or any type of health care plan. They're going to say, okay, well now you're going to have to give your employees, which will be probably Obamacare, health care if they work. If it is 32 hours a week, it's going to be considered full-time. And my friend said, well, when 32 is not enough, they're going to cut it back to 30. And if 30 is not enough, they're just going to keep on cutting and cutting it back to eventually that full-time is going to be less than part-time, and you're going to be paying their benefits anyway. They're going to say that 25 hours a week. I'm just talking through my ass. But they're going to say, oh, yeah, 25 hours a week, that's full-time. You're going to have to pay their health benefits. They're just going to destroy these companies. And what are the companies going to do? Well, they're going to move down to Mexico, South America, or out to the European parts of the globe, because they're not going to be able to deal with this whole Nazi government regime we have going on in our country right now. So that's the bottom line. So everyone, I'm going to end at that because I said I was going to end, and here I go for another 15, 20 minutes. So that's enough. It's a holiday. I want to enjoy part of it. I think you want to enjoy it too. And I only got 5 listeners on Saturday, so that's pretty bad. I need to do something to hype up my my listener base. So I'll talk to you later. Have a good whatever's left of this holiday weekend, which is only one more day. And some of us, about 40% of us, are going to be going back to work. And some people are actually going back to school. And the rest of us are just sitting on our ass like we always do. So everyone, have a good evening. I am signing off for now.